We got him. Stay down.
Okay, so we're out here today on the Brothers Ranch. He's been kind enough to let us set up some targets at distance. And the point of the video today is, do you need to drop stupid money to shoot long distance? And so we thought a fun challenge to put together would be $1,000 budget. How far can we stretch it out? So 1,000 yards for $1,000, is it possible? We all know that it probably is, but it'd be cool just to see it done. So we built two separate rifles, two separate calibers, with just either stuff we had lying around or sales on the internet, and just kind of put some stuff together cheap. So I have a Savage Model 12 LRP. I picked this up on private party sale for 600 bucks, I think, something like that. They MSRP right around 1,000. Looks like you can buy them on Gunbroker and stuff for around the $800 price point. So it kind of fits within the scheme of this video. It is a 28-inch barrel, 6.5 Creedmoor. Full barrel, heavy. It's got their AccuTrigger, whatever equivalent it is in it. It's actually a pretty nice shooting rifle for the money. For optics, we have a Vortex Op Mod from Optics Planet Modification Limited Edition Diamondback. Basically, it's a Diamondback 4-16 by 44 in MOA. I'm not super familiar with shooting shooting MOA. I'm a lot more familiar with shooting mil, so this is going to be a little bit of a struggle for me. I'm just going to plug the numbers into the application, Hornady Ford DOF, and let it tell me what to do, because I've got my numbers pretty well down in mils. Converting that over to MOA, I'm not smart enough for all that math stuff. I've learned one, learning the other's like learning another language, and I'm an idiot that doesn't know any other languages, so mils it is for me. Really, shooting that to distance so far, the clarity on the scope is surprising. We've got a few other optics out here on a few other rifles. There's a few other things over there and a few more things in the pickup, but we got Smith & Bender, some of the Platinum from Primary Arms. There's some Calais optics out here, and there's definitely a difference. Last time we shot these at distance, for the earlier portion of this video, which you'll see, it was quite a bit hotter. There was a lot of mirage, and it was hard to get clarity out of either, but it definitely made a difference in quality of glass. Today, we're just kind of finished raining. It's overcast. Yeah, it's rainy, it's a little bit overcast, so there's not a ton of light, and again, that makes a pretty good show of difference in the quality of the optics. Although, I'm pretty pleasantly surprised with this thing for, what was it, like you picked it up online, 200 bucks?
Yeah, I think I've got like 250, maybe 240, 250 in that scope, and it was on sale regularly. I think they have them marked at 440-ish. But honestly, I don't think I've ever seen that particular model not on sale.
Yeah, they're the ones that are just kind of, the on sale price is the regular price.
Yep, and the rings were a set of rings that I had laying around. I think I've got 85 or 90 bucks in the rings.
So with what I purchased the rifle for, the optic and the rings, we're sitting right at that 1,000 mark. This plate, this Picatinny plate that mounts to the top of the carrier, or top of the action, top of the action, I picked that up on Amazon. I wasn't gonna spend like $200 on a US Optics one. I think it was like 24 bucks or something like that.
And you didn't get it red anodized?
Should have definitely dropped the ball. Either that or blue anodized. That'd be pretty cool.
Anodizing aluminum.
But standard black it was. But yeah, no, this is just some Chinese milled piece of crap, and seems to be holding zero pretty decent, really. So just kind of wanted to point the premise is you don't have to drop $10,000 or $15,000 on a gas gun or a bolt gun in order to shoot these distances accurately and reliably. You can have a lot of fun for a lot less, and that was kind of one of the reasons I picked 6.5 as a cartridge. Is it's readily available. You can get some Cooper and Belliot plinking rounds for about 70-80 cents a round now. I mean, you can get under $1 a round to shoot long range, and it's a fairly accurate round. I mean, out of a good bolt gun, probably MOA and a quarter to MOA and a half. Some batches you might get a little bit better, which for under $1 a round is really pretty fantastic. And I'm shooting today Federal Gold Match burgers, 140 grains. Those are a little bit more. They're closer to $2 a round. But just to kind of see how we can stretch them out. They seem to be quite a bit more consistent with muzzle velocities, deviations, all that good stuff. So my gas gun seemed to like, and it really seems to run pretty well in this bolt gun. So that's what we're running today. What have you got built here?
Well, this is my Savage Model 11. I believe they called this the Hog Hunter. This is a 308, 18-inch barrel. It's got a Q Trash Panda on here. And this is a Tribe 4-16 by 44. Picked that up off Optics Plant. Don't know about the rings. Ooh, I just noticed I might have a little slip in my rings here. Have to check that out and retorque these. But it's still holding 0. Been on at 5. We just moved to 8 and I haven't been on yet. Kind of going along with the reason we're here, I don't know how much I have in this. But it is pretty much a budget build. It's kind of like, you know how I am. I'm kind of like balling on a budget sometimes. And for what I do out here, 500-800 yards, this is a really great rifle. Short, handles easy. So that's why I got it, and it just kind of fit in with what you wanted to do. So that's why we brought her out here today.
Roughly sticker price on that rifle, I think I looked it up, is in the mid 700s is what you can get. I think MSRP is a bit higher, but you can pick them up right around 750.
Sounds about right.
And then that optic, I'm not super familiar with the Tribes, but I'm gonna guess what, $200-300 and some rings,
something like that. Yeah, I think I got about $300 in the scope, and then another $100 for the rings. And today we are shooting. We got Hornady Match. These are 168 grain ELDs. So
both rifles are pretty close to the 1,000, or maybe just a few hundred over if you were to go build an exact one. I happen to get a pretty good deal on this rifle used. But if you shop around, you can definitely get it under that 1,000, or if you just want to build one new, a couple hundred over you can push, and well, you'll kind of see what you can do. I'm not the best shot on the planet, but I can normally get some rounds on steel. So we just shot at 500 pretty consistently, so we're gonna push it back to 800 now, see where that's at. That should be close to where you're starting to go transonic.
Yeah.
Probably 870, 880, I'm guessing, with that barrel. So
I'd be happy if I could get on here, and I'm not gonna stress if we go to 1,000 and I can't get on. And I know we've got that other hill back there that's like 1450. We probably give that another shot today.
That'd be cool to see. That would definitely be transonic on the 6.5. So add some inconsistencies into our variables, and we'll see what we can do. Winds are kind of pretty good right now. They're a little bit in our face and off to the right. They're shifting just a little bit from more right to more center, but it actually kind of helps a little bit with drop. We're shooting a little bit higher than the calculator's typically calling for. It seems like that bullet's walking up into that headwind just a little bit as it's rotating. Okay, so since I don't know mils on 6.5 whatsoever, we're gonna go ahead and put it into calculator, pull up our 12 LRP. We took muzzle velocities with a Garmin chronograph. So we're right at 800. I'm gonna put the wind a little bit more to our right now.
I'd just say half a scope up and you're good.
So it should be about 21 MOA. I'm gonna guess probably 20.5 to 20, the way it seems to be shooting a little higher than what this is calling for today. And 2 on wind. So here's 2. And we're gonna go 0, 14, 15, 20. We'll do 27.5.
Whoa. Oh, hit.
Low center, I think.
Hit.
Yep.
Good hit.
Just right.
Just right?
Just right.
Elevation good.
Elevation's good. I aimed just right at the top of it.
Lower third, just right. Come up 1 click, come over 2. Ah. Well, that would definitely tell some inconsistencies.
Oh.
The mount on the receiver here actually become loose. You
Ah.
can feel a wiggle on it.
Is that what's going on?
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Well, I'd say no point in shooting that any further.
Nope. Feels like it's both of them too. Yeah, this rear scope mount came a little loose. Might have just been that rear scope mount.
Yeah, it's tightened up now. Just over it. I mean, it's actually a lot closer than I anticipated it being, but it's yeah, she's off now after scope rings walked loose.
Hit. Hit.
It's gonna be impossible to see a hit that's not on target.
Hit.
There's a hit. Right edge. Cool. Well, in conclusion, today gave us some pretty tough conditions. It was very difficult after the rain rolled through and it just kind of sprinkled a little bit to mark where the misses were. No more dust was popping up. It was really just mud, and at that distance through these optics, it's pretty much impossible to tell exactly where those are hitting. But we did have some successful hits, pretty decent hits out to, especially after kind of dialed it in, out at 1200 even. It's just off the maps, the rangefinder is kind of struggling, especially in the rain, to get a good mark, but should be right at 1200, 1215. We got some good hits out there, very consistent ones at 1000 with this rifle, and then just every time at 800, which you should easily be able to do. I mean, this gun should print an MOA or just underneath, and shooting a 18-inch gong roughly out at that distance should have no issues with that if you're able to do your part as a shooter. The wind was doing some wild stuff in those canyons. You could see the grass blowing one direction. Basically it was blowing straight right to left in front of me and in my face. The wind was directly in my face, so it was and it changed quite regularly, watching that wind drift that grass from one direction to the other, so constantly having to make windage adjustments. It was definitely difficult on my part because I'm not the greatest long range shooter by any means, but even being so, I was still able to make some pretty consistent hits out to 1200 yards with this thing. I think in better conditions, be able to push it out a little bit further. Shot the MRG a little bit as well, and struggled to make some hits at 1000 on that plate, which is pretty uncommon for when I take that rifle out. I've shot plenty of times, even at a 10-inch gong at 1000, and I'm able to bang it very consistently.
Are you trying to have sex with me?
And the wind and the conditions was just making that very difficult, between being able to see where you were missing and the wind just constantly changing around. And so as much as that is an excuse, I do need to be a better shooter on that sense. But even though I am not a crazy marksman by any means, especially out at distance, was able to make some good hits on both rifles and some consistent hits. So it is absolutely possible to shoot 1000 plus for under $1,000 and do it reliably and do it consistently. The optics definitely struggle at that distance, especially in tougher conditions where we had quite a bit of, not so much even fog, but just it was a little hazy, and you know, that even struggled looking through the Schmidt, looking through the Calais and some of the other nice scopes, but it's definitely much more clear looking through those than it was looking through this. Although I was very impressed, you know, this Diamondback 4-16, it tracked very true to itself. After 0, you dial in 12, 20, 25, all the way up to, we ended up something at 37, 38. I want to say mils because I'm used to shooting mils, but MOA of elevation. And you know, you do your calculation and it was right on the money. There were some times it was a little high, there was some times it was a little low, but I think that was more shooting conditions, because as they got better for a little bit, it was right on the money, and then when conditions got worse again, you kind of had to track it down. I'm really pretty impressed, you know, for no more than the setup costs. The rings and the scope being in at around 300 and the rifle being 650 is what I've got in it. The trigger's really solid. Savage's stock, I think they call it the AccuTrigger. Their stock trigger is really nothing to scoff at. It leaves a little to be desired, but it's there's nothing wrong with it for a precision trigger. Consistent pull, nice clean wall, clean break, and I think my biggest concern was probably with the optic tracking true to every MOA adjustment, especially as we're climbing all the way almost up to 30 MOAs, and it tracking true for every click all the way up. I know that on some cheaper optics that does seem to be an issue, but this one really surprised me. You know, for having a lot more money and some other rifles, this thing is plenty capable if you're able to do your part as a shooter and call wind, read wind, and, you know, see your hits. Seeing the hits was the hardest struggle. The wind picked up enough at times where you could see a hit from the spotter's perspective, or if I was able to catch it in the scope again, you could see it sway a little bit. And there's the ratchet strap tail hanging out there. You could see it kind of get blown away with the spall off of it. And there's times you could hear it, but there's other times that you couldn't, depending on the wind and which direction it was coming from, whether it was directly in our face, or sometimes it changed a little bit back and forth even at our face, but especially down there, it changed quite a bit. And that made it difficult to, you know, call those hits 100%, but going back and looking at the gong, there's a lot of solid hits on there, and a lot of them are grouped pretty decent, not just like barely hitting trailing edge and whatnot. So, you know, $1,000, 1,000 yards, absolutely achievable, even with a pretty even with a pretty novice long range shooter. So, hey-o, good. So, for our little piece of life advice for the day, I would say one that comes to mind is unspoken expectations are premeditated resentments. So, be that with coworkers, employees, bosses, significant others, family members, friends. If you have expectations, and it's good to have expectations as long as they're reasonable ones, and you're not, what's the word I'm looking for? As long as you're not centering your world around yourself, it's good to have expectations around the people that you have in your group. And if you don't verbate those expectations in a kind but understandable way, and you just lock those down into yourself, if you don't speak them to the world or speak them to the people that you expect them from, then you're setting yourself in that relationship up for failure in the sense of it's impossible to meet a standard that no one or that person doesn't know that exists. Don't set yourself up for premeditated resentment to people, because resentment just builds walls and ruins relationships. But if you have good, honest, clean expectations of people, as they should have of you as well, share those and hold each other accountable to stick to them.